Last Saturday, Duke entered its game with Georgetown, undefeated and ranked #1 in the nation. But despite a great effort by J.J. Redick, the Blue Devils fell, the prime victim on what would become a shocking Saturday. Tonight, Coach K looks to bounce back, but Duke knows nothing is easy against Virginia Tech. Last year, an upset loss in Blacksburg, and back in December, a miracle escape.
Dockery shoots.
For the first time this season, the Duke Blue Devils will take the court with a loss on their record. But Coach K's crew is still perfect in the ACC. The fans here at Cassell Coliseum are hoping that's going to change tonight. Last year, Virginia Tech shocked Duke in Blacksburg. Can the Hokies turn the trick 2 years in a row? Tonight's game is brought to you in high definition on ESPN HD, presented by DLP Picture Technology. Welcome to Throwdown Thursday, presented by IBM. Tonight, the now second-ranked Blue Devils try to get back on the winning track against a Virginia Tech team that has suffered a number of tough losses this season. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale. It's great to have you with us. Duke trying to bounce back from its only loss last weekend against Georgetown. And, Dick, they're going to have to do it against a team that legitimately should have beaten them 2 of the last 3 times they played.
Well, you know, Mike, it was that miracle shot by Mr. Dockery that we've seen so often and gave them that big win at Cameron Indoor Stadium. And you better believe when you look at certainly Virginia Tech, it's been Heartbreak Hotel. One tough loss after another, starting with the Duke one, and then it was Florida State, North Carolina, Virginia. They need a big win. For it to happen tonight, they're going to have to meet the incredible intensity that Duke will play with. Mike Krzyzewski was not happy with the intensity, and he thought there was too much J.J. watching. He wants Sheldon Williams to be more involved, and I have a feeling that you're going to see Duke at their best, and if Virginia Tech's to survive and to get that first win, they are flat out going to earn it.
All right, how about your IBM Star Watch tonight?
Talk about the big guys. You talk about stars. Sheldon Williams had only 4 against Georgetown. Has to come back and be an All-American. Coleman Collins has been sensational against Duke. He's going to have a brilliant performance on the interior.
It's been a tough year for Virginia Tech in many ways. Doris Burke has more on that.
Mike, Tech has faced a number of challenges away from the basketball court all season long. We'll document those throughout the course of the evening, but for forward Coleman Collins, foremost on his mind this evening, his father, who is being treated for lung cancer in a hospice center back in Atlanta. In fact, tonight is the last game Coleman will be with this team for an unspecified period of time. After tonight's game, he and his brother Jackson Jr., who drove down from New York, will depart Cassell Coliseum and make their way to Atlanta to spend some time with Jackson Sr. Coleman said, I know he's watching the games he can on TV. The few opportunities I have to let him see me play, I'm happy for. But he's going with a heavy heart, Mike.
Doris, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. They have gone through an awful lot. We'll talk more about what this entire team has gone through. Here are the starting lineups. The change for Duke is McRoberts in there for Melchione, who hurt his ankle over the weekend. McRoberts, of course, has been a starter in this lineup before. They are packed in here, 10,000 strong, to see if Virginia Tech can catch lightning in a bottle 2 years in a row. Redick. Off the rebound goes to Deron Washington. Gordon pushes it, gets it inside that column. And that's what Gordon has to do, is penetrate and dish.
He's the heart of the team. He's their key. He's their catalyst. He has to play well.
He's third in the ACC in assists.
He's battling an ankle injury as well.
McRoberts trying to keep alive his own miss. Collins with a rebound, tied up. And it's kicked by Collins. The ball will go to Duke. And a great steal by Sean Dockery, who's second in the league in that category.
Take a look at the penetration right here, Mike. Great penetration, drive, draw, dish, and there's Collins with a jam.
Reddick, the leading scorer in the ACC.
They've always done a good job against Reddick. They've kept them under control.
Paulus with the jump shot at 2-pointer. We're tied.
They want to make certain that Paulus doesn't turn the ball over. Turned it over a little too much against the Hoyas of Georgetown.
Collins penetrating against McRoberts. The tip to Washington would not go. And Sheldon Williams, the landlord, out to the freshman Paulus.
Washington, a good athlete. Dad played in the NFL for years. Been an assistant over with the Green Bay Packers. As man-to-man defense.
McRoberts, great pass to Reddick. Blocked off the glass, goaltending on Witherspoon.
Reddick did a great job getting free.
Mike Krzyzewski and his coaching staff, 665 wins at Duke.
I tell you, it becomes an incredible story whenever they lose. It's unbelievable.
He's gotten used to taking everybody's best shot every night out. Dockery to Reddick on the run. This one is blocked by Washington. No goal tap.
Washington, a good athlete. That's the angle. You know, J.J. Reddick's from right around here. Grew up in Roanoke.
Yep.
Same place that produced two outstanding football players, Tiki and Rondé Barber.
And unmercifully booed when he comes back to his home area. Reddick out of the corner off the inbounds play, can't hit it. He struggled here last year, Dick, because he's got a lot of people here to see him play, and he wants to play well really badly.
Everywhere he goes, it's unbelievable, the emotion, the intensity. There's the Reddick family. Got to be very proud. His parents, he's played so hard. Been a great example for a lot of kids about work ethic. Came to school, but he arrived with you and I saw him as a shooter. He has now become a complete player.
Well, I complimented him a couple of weeks ago about how well he has handled all the grief he has had to take in every ACC venue, because he's had to put up with a lot more than most people do. Washington for three. McRoberts with a rebound. Outlet to Paulus.
They're waiting for McRoberts to really break out. Very talented.
Williams powers his way in.
That's what they did not have against Georgetown. That low post scoring out of Williams.
Of course, Mike Krzyzewski had said at the beginning of the year, with two freshman starters, this is not a great team and probably would not have a chance to be.
I think they're going to be really a lot better team when Mr. Nelson starts getting into rotation.
Absolutely. He's missed a couple of games trying to come back from that foot injury. And now he's expected to get some minutes tonight to see how he'll do. Dockery trying to penetrate with a runner. Partially blocked. Washington got a piece of that one. Duke, of course, still the only undefeated team in the ACC.
Wow.
NC State, Maryland, Virginia. Virginia, the surprise, all with 2 losses. And how about that stunning loss NC State racked up last night?
They got blown out. Wacky Wednesday, nice backdoor cut.
And McRoberts throws it down.
You know, they don't feel that McRoberts has been comfortable yet. He was a post player in high school, played in a 3-second area.
Playing facing the basket for the first time in his brief career.
Ty did a great job right down here. There's the catch, the jam. He's going to be a special player. There's no doubt in my mind. You watch next year his development. Sheldon Williams moves on.
I think when people see him next year, they'll be shocked that he's as good as it is, because he's been playing obviously out of position while Williams stays in the post. Here comes Melchione, and McRoberts will get a breather. And there is the appearance that they've been waiting for. DeMarcus Nelson on the court.
Well, we had him in that Maryland game when he got hurt again after breaking his ankle. He was giving him a little lift and had that ankle injury, the same ankle, but it was in a different area of the foot.
He gives them a third big-time scorer. He gives them tremendous athletic ability. Williams takes a 15-foot jump shot and can't hit it.
He's a good player. He's a good defensive player. He becomes a very, very important part in their rotation.
And he gives them the depth they otherwise don't have. Washington against Melchione. Works his way in and buries the jump shot. Deron Washington, who averages nearly 11 points a game, hits the bucket there and cuts the lead to 3.
Seth Greenberg's kids, they feel they can take it one-on-one, and that's what Washington did there in that sequence.
Witherspoon, and that's a blocking foul as Melchione tried to draw the charge.
You know, we talked about earlier the problems they're facing. Seth has been it's been a very emotional year, worrying about his players and all that they've had to face. Washington, for example, his mother's home was really ruined with Hurricane Katrina. She's now moved into this area. You have a situation where the youngster Witherspoon's mom facing breast cancer. You have, as you documented, Doris did as well, about Coleman Collins and his dad. And all I could say to you, Jackson, I know you're watching. Spoke to your son before the game. He has so much love for you, it's unbelievable. And he can't wait to come and put his arms around you after the game. And all our prayers are with you. Mike, I hate that disease, what it's done to so many families. That disease is sick.
Absolutely.
Oh, geez.
And Alan Calloway is Collins' roommate, and he is suffering from an inoperable tumor in his leg and takes interferon 3 times a week to try to prevent the spread of the cancer any further as Reddick gets his first bucket. It has been the most unbelievable series of events to strike this ball club that you can just imagine. Dockery commits the foul, and we've got a timeout. 15:42 to go, first half. Duke by 4.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And in part by Domino's. Get the door. It's the spectacular sevens deal from Domino's.
Duke with the early 10-6 lead here in Blacksburg, Virginia at Virginia Tech. Let's check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Mike, just prior to break, you mentioned the difficulties Alan Calloway is suffering with. He was diagnosed with that cancer, soft tissue cancer, on July 3rd. He came back to school, and in an effort to get some normalcy in his life, guys, he said to Coach Greenberg, I would like to try to play basketball. He does take those interferon injections 3 times a week. That is an attempt to battle the cancer. He has, because of that injection, lost about 30 pounds. He is reed thin. In a game in November, guys, he went to take a charge, and it was at that moment that they decided it might be in his best interest, because of the physical beating he was taking, not to play basketball. But he is a courageous example for all of these Tech players, guys.
My hat is off to him and all the rest of these kids. And, of course, even the kids who have not suffered a personal affliction have been touched by this, with so much of their teammates caught up in the tragedy. It's just unimaginable what they've gone through.
Spoke to him before the game, and he's got a great attitude. Very courageous young man. And that's why we got to beat that disease. Jimmy V, the V Foundation, raising millions. Help us out.
Three-pointer by Witherspoon. That's why Winton is in there, and it was so critical for them to get him back after he had surgery for a foot fracture. The young man could really fill it up if he gets a hot hand. So can Melchione. Short on the jumper. Rebound to Collins.
They were playing a box of 1 right there. Guarding J.J. Reddick and zoning.
Dowdell. Great drive. Couldn't hit it. Witherspoon. Rebound for 3. Melchione with a rebound.
They need a big game out of Dowdell. He's been a little streaky as a shooter. His stats don't indicate how good a shooter he can be. He can put points on the board.
Mick Roberts powers his way in.
Great job in a low post, getting the ball in deep to the diaper dandy, Mr. Mick Roberts.
Collins.
Good defensive job right there by Mick Roberts.
Reddick, runner. Got the roll.
One touch.
J.J. Reddick averages 27 points a game. That would be a school record. Bob Verga averaged 26-1. Bob Verga, one of the great shooters and scorers in the history of the ACC. And, Dick, I thought those days were gone, where you'd have guys who would average 26, 27 points a game. He's had 2 40-pointers this year.
Well, you know why you think it's gone, especially for a team that is so good like Duke. You feel there's more balance, but he has really become such an offensive player.
Collins, nice move to go to the left hand, then couldn't finish the shot.
Did I mention Bob Verga? He came to Duke out of New Jersey. Great shooter.
Williams. Blocked. The crowd wanted a charge. And the coaches go nuts on the Virginia Tech side. Seth Greenberg couldn't believe that one.
Seth, his brother Brad, and his staff. I thought maybe a little raw deal there.
That looked like a charge.
On the line, shooting 2 shots.
Washington gets his, and Seth is still trying to make his point.
Take a look right here. Oh, I think it's an
That's
offensive
a charge.
foul. That's an offensive foul.
Sheldon Williams got away with one there, and Washington physically pays the price for standing his ground.
You know, Seth brought a lot of enthusiasm and certainly a lot of energy when he was at South Florida. He's brought it here last year. They surprised some people this year. Sometimes you lose a game like they lost to Duke, and it's so difficult to recover.
Oh, absolutely.
Though, you know, it just really one pounds after another. Even though they did come back and get a win over St. John's right after that loss, and then one loss after another has really mounted for these kids.
Well, when the #1 team in the country needs a 45-footer at the
home.
buzzer to beat you.
At home.
That just breaks your heart.
I mean, that game looked like it was over, man. It was done. Players said they're tired of seeing that highlight of Mr. Dockery shooting it as well.
And their 5 losses in the ACC have been for a combined 25 points. Runner by Sales, who checks in for the first time, doesn't hit.
They really want to take you off the dribble. Spread out, beat you off the dribble. December 4th, man.
They got the lead right there. They put 0.6 of a second back on, and Sean Dockery with the biggest shot of his career, a 3-pointer from 45 feet to win it.
Shot of the year so far. Unbelievable. You know, you mentioned North Carolina State, talking about the wacky world, wacky Wednesday. I would have never thought they got blown out like they did it by Seton Hall. That shows again and verifies why the Big East is the best conference in basketball. When you have Seton Hall going on a road, blowing out NC State, Georgetown beating Duke, it shows you the depth of that conference, and it runs in cycles.
Shek Jakite made 1 of 2. It will still be Virginia Tech basketball. They're down by 6. And Jakite, the freshman from Mali, gets a quick shot at action and goes to the bench.
Jakite gave him a little spark there for a minute or two.
Gordon. Jamon Gordon with the bucket, and it's a 4-point game again.
He's the heart and soul of the team. He's very strong, physical player, handles the ball well. They're chasing JJ everywhere he goes. Got to get help on him.
Dockery left open for 3, rimmed out on him.
He's really improved as a shooter. He's more their stabilizer. I'll tell you, Duke brings the best of everyone. You know, Georgetown was averaging about 7,000 to 8,000 fans. For the Duke game, sold the place out.
That's right. Dowdell too strong on a little jump shot.
He's got to give him point production.
Duke really has the court spread. Williams was the only one within 20 feet of the basket, and then they wrapped everyone else around the circle. NBA action comes your way Friday night on ESPN. First the Cavs and the Pacers. LeBron will play. Stojakovic might suit up for the Pacers following the big trade. Then we go west to Clippers and the Nuggets. And the pass stolen. Collins could have given it up. Instead, he takes it in and draws the foul on Nelson.
Not really great execution in a 2-on-1 situation.
You know what's interesting? When the big guy gets the ball, he's dribbling with his head down, trying to protect himself instead of seeing who's with him.
Yeah, he didn't have vision of the trailer. Give the ball up and get it back. Just
His
give it
brother
up,
enjoyed that one, and Collins will go to the line.
He's got great ability, and he's a brilliant young man. Going to graduate before he's 20 years of age. It's unbelievable.
Misses the first free throw. That's the only category of the top 4 that he is not in the ACC rankings. 8th in scoring, 6th in field goal percentage, 8th in rebounding. 66% free throw shooter.
Seth Greenberg just raves about him. Great kid, super attitude. Look at those numbers against Duke the first time.
Well, you wouldn't think you could do that against Sheldon Williams, would you?
And he's an outstanding student as well. That makes him special because he's a genuine student athlete.
Puts him above us, doesn't it?
Well, above me.
Redick got it. His first 3 of the night. I'm sure it won't be the last. J.J. Redick, who is the #2 long-range shooter in the ACC. Collins, a lot of contact. Williams goes down, no whistle. Paulus on the run. And the freshman hits his jump shot. All of a sudden, it's an 8-point game.
You got to make that shot. He's making it now. Pulling up at the foul line in transition. That's one of the options. Make that 15-foot jump shot.
#2, Duke. How ironic that they dropped out of the top spot and their women's team moved into the top spot right after that.
They were sensational against Tennessee.
Yes,
Doris
they were.
did a great job in that game with Rebecca Lobo.
You watch everything,
Oh,
don't
I
you?
watched that. That was unbelievable. I couldn't believe the blowout. Cameron Indoor Stadium was rocking. Coach Geston Kors has done a phenomenal job. I say it again. Try to spell Geston Kors and Krzyzewski, and I'll send you a free book.
People cheat. Three-pointer from Chris Tucker.
Collins, he's big time, Mike. Great offensive rebound. Very strong. His dad's going to be mighty proud of him, not only as a basketball player, but as a person.
Reddick, pull-up three, fouled by Sales.
Don't want to foul him out there. That's not smart.
That's a gift.
What about the Georgetown game? They were up in a situation by 4, and you foul the kid on the 3, makes the 3, makes the foul shot.
Now let's welcome the Virginia Tech team. Here they are.
Time now for ESPNU's pride of the program in the spotlight, Loyola Chicago. Loyola trailed by 15 in the second half, but the Ramblers rallied to take Cincinnati to overtime. And Vic Rouse tipped in Les Hunter's miss at the buzzer. And the underdogs from the Windy City were national champions. More pride of the programs are available on ESPN Mobile. Let's check in with Doris.
Mike, you guys were talking earlier about the fact that J.J. Redick not only takes the opponent's best defender, but also takes the abuse from the opponent's crowd often. You also mentioned that he grew up not far from here. In fact, Seth Greenberg and his family know J.J. Redick's parents fairly well, to the point where Karen Greenberg, after the abuse J.J. took in this building last season, called the Redick family prior to tonight and said, listen, I wish your son the best. Every time he comes into a building, he takes the most abuse. It was difficult here last year. We wish him the best. We hope he does well in front of a home crowd, so to speak, guys.
Well, that was very nice of her to do that. Redick missed his first free throw. That was the 19th he has missed this year. The best free throw shooter in the history of NCAA basketball has already missed more shots this year than he did all of last year.
You know what you didn't know, I guarantee? Roanoke, I went to Roanoke College for about 9 days.
No.
And then I got homesick. I went down there because I thought I could play at that level. I went to a workout. I said, I can't play at this level either. they chased me out of there, man.
I don't think you could have played at Roanoke Junior High.
Right. I love this kid. He's really tough. Believe he has got great potential. This is a young basketball team. They could be a legitimate top 20 team next season. They really can be.
You know, one thing about Collins, sometimes he will just be overwhelmed by the emotion, as I'm sure you can understand. He'll come to practice. There's just very few things he can do. It's around him constantly.
Well, you love for your dad, man. You have one dad, one mom. It's tough to see them suffer.
Good entry pass by Paulus, and Williams puts it up against Collins, who let him get in too deep.
It's hard to believe that he only had 4 points against Georgetown.
Sure is.
With his talent and his ability around the basket. Nice pass.
Gordon somehow found Dowdell after he picked up his dribble and was in jeopardy.
Nice backcourt, very athletic. Gordon and Dowdell. Great look by Gordon.
Good ball movement by Duke, and Williams again. Soft touch. And Coleman Collins thought he had him covered right there.
They must have did a phenomenal job, John Thompson III, in his game plan to offset Sheldon Williams.
27-19. Duke keeping a really strong advantage here early. Try to spread the court and let Dowdell go in. Reverse. Beautiful shot by Xavier Dowdell.
They have a very tough time playing them one-on-one. These kids can really take you off that dribble.
When they switched him to the 2 guard after 8 games this year, both guards have played better.
That was the strength of Georgetown in that game. With Bowman and Cook and Green, take you off the dribble, spread the court.
Melchione, good entry pass, the bucket and the foul. Now let's join Dave Revson, the SportsCenter 30 and 30.
All right, Mike. Tiger Woods on the course today. First round of the year playing the Buick Invitational. Torrey Pines 1 under 71. He's 6 back of co-leaders Brant Jobe and Thomas LeVay. No more Ron Artest in Indy, and now no Jermaine O'Neal for a couple months. O'Neal tore his groin in the loss to the Cavs on Tuesday, out at least 8 weeks. Details on SportsCenter 11 Eastern, anytime, ESPN News. Guys.
For Duke, shooting 1 shot, Sheldon Williams.
All right, thanks, Dave. I wish people would stop doing stories about torn groins. It just hurt to hear it. Yikes.
Sheldon playing like an All-American. Hey, what about, I know you like golf? Tiger Williams just bought a new estate, $38 million. That's like in your league, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, $38 million. Dockery plays so hard defensively. Really gets after the basketball.
Witherspoon's been quiet.
I got Dockery playing on Gordon.
Witherspoon over Reddick, got a height advantage, can't hit the shot. JJ with some pretty good defense there.
I think Mike Krzyzewski's really motivated Sheldon Williams. Took him out for a minute or 2.
Collins with a rebound. Speaking of Williams, he just moved into 20th place all time in the ACC as a rebounder. He just passed our buddy Lenny Elmore. One of the great rebounders ever.
Greatest ever at Maryland.
Oh, great pass by McRoberts, and the lay-in, Nelson.
Seeing some of the ability of McRoberts tonight.
Contact at the other end, and Dowdell scores over the All-American.
They can really attack the basket. They really can drive, slash, very athletic. This place is rocking, man.
Yes,
this is college hoops. So unpredictable. I mean, the passion, the love for the game. You got to love it, man. You got to love it, what's happening.
And, Dick, they're down by 9 and making all this noise. Reddick didn't get the roll, and Collins with another rebound.
The reason they're down by 9 because Duke has really executed so well. They've been so efficient offensively.
Reddick nearly had a steal, and that's a backcourt violation on Dowdell. Got a timeout with 7:50 to go first half. 32-23 Blue Devils. They've been anticipating it for a long time, the return of the Duke Blue Devils after they lost here a year ago and barely won in Durham earlier this year. But the Blue Devils, who take everybody's best shot, have had a great first half and they're on top. 32-23. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale, Doris Burke. Glad you could join us for ACC basketball. Dick, they have been so good for so long, they don't even have to be #1 anymore. It still gets you psyched to play them.
Well, everybody plays at such a level against them. Right now, certainly all their parts are working well. When Reddick and Williams are playing well, I think they're the best tandem in America, inside, outside. And if both are effective, they're tough to beat. And both are very effective early in this game.
27-4 following a loss. So the last thing you need is have Duke lose the game before they play you. Seth Greenberg's got to be thinking, thank you so much. It's all we needed was the additional part of this. Nelson with the jump shot, it goes, there's a foul underneath.
DeMarcus Nelson will be such a plus for this team. His scoring ability, his defensive ability. Seth's kids have really come out and played hard, but Duke is executing so well and shooting well.
The basket counts. The foul was on Sheldon Williams, his second.
The last 3 years, Duke has lost 2 in a row. Last year, they lost at Maryland, then at Virginia Tech right here. The year before, at North Carolina State and at Wake. And the year in 2003 at Maryland and at NC State. They don't lose 2 in a row too often.
No, they don't. They don't lose 1 in a row too often.
I like that.
Jamon Gordon going one-on-one, then gets caught up in the air. Not a good possession and not what Seth Greenberg wanted out of Jamon Gordon.
Young kids out there, you don't want to leave your feet. McRoberts wants the ball. He wants the ball. Said, please get it to me in a box. Come on.
He's in the post now with Sheldon Williams on the bench, so he'd have a chance to show his stuff.
And that's where he's really comfortable. That's what he did on the scholastic level and dominated inside.
Chiquite is on him as both starters are out. Nelson makes the three. That's what this kid can give them. Outside shooting, inside play, rebounds, defense, speed.
What he gives them is a third weapon. And I think to really be good, to be outstanding, you have to have three guys. Three guys, and you talk about winning 6 in a row to win a national title. He gives them that third wheel behind Williams and certainly Reddick.
Pass along the baseline to Collins, double teamed out to Witherspoon, and he goes it up for 3.
That was a big three. They needed to score on that possession. They got to come up with some defensive stops. They have not been able to stop Duke. If you looked at offensive efficiency rating right now, chart each possession, Duke has got to be really way up there. Playing that zone now, 2-3 zone.
Reddick and Williams both on the bench for Duke, and it doesn't matter. They've hit 2 threes in a row. That was Malchione.
They are so focused. You could see it in the locker room before the game. You could see the intensity, emotion of Mike Krzyzewski before the game. I mean, I walked out, I said to myself, this guy's trying right now to prove to people he can coach. I think we all know he can coach.
Chiquite, offensive rebound, and the follow on Gordon's miss.
Nice play by Chiquite, hanging around the basket. Big, strong body.
Duke is shooting a crisp 59%. Nelson, poor pass that time, but McRoberts saved it.
He thought McRoberts was going to release to the goal.
Here comes Gordon.
Got to stop that basketball.
Dockery on him. Gordon got by, then in among the trees and missed again. Jamon Gordon trying to do too much on his own. He is one of the top ACC assist men and the best in the league right now in assist to turnover ratio, and he seems to be much more interested in shooting.
You know, I'm hearing from everybody that the best point guard in the league is right down in Charlottesville, Mr. Singletary. Everybody raves about him.
McRoberts took his eye off of it and lost the ball. College basketball Saturday. We have a triple header coming your way. All you have to do is switch back and forth. Villanova, Notre Dame. Villanova number 6 this week. That's at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. 7 o'clock on ESPN. I'll see you from Durham, Virginia, and number 2 Duke. Then Oklahoma, Texas. 9 o'clock on ESPN2. Dick will have that one.
Yeah, Brad and I will be down there for that one. The game day crew. See this Texas team. Talked to Rick Barnes yesterday. They've been really on fire. Gibson's been sensational.
We don't get a day off this week, huh?
I tell you, got to work. Got to pay the bills.
Collins. Virginia Tech cannot afford a long cold streak because Duke is just filling it up tonight.
Paul's doing a nice job tonight at the point guard slot, distributing the basketball. They're getting good spacing.
It is just very, very difficult for a freshman to come in and play at this level, and he walked there.
And not only play at this level, Mike, play winning basketball at this level. At this level, the standard's all about winning a national title. It's not getting in the tournament.
Dave Revson alongside Fran Fraschilla. Hubert Davis coming up on the UPS halftime report. We will talk biggest upsets of the year. We'll go through those, get the thoughts from the guys. How about some thoughts on the first half so far?
Well, I love the effort of Josh McRoberts. Coach K started him tonight, came off the bench in previous games. I think he got his attention.
And just having DeMarcus Nelson back in the lineup is going to help Duke down the stretch.
More from these guys coming up at halftime, as well as our Thursday Throwdown finalists, the best jams of the week. That is all straight ahead, Mike.
All right, thank you, Dave. It's 40-28 here. Let's check in with Doris.
Mike, if you look at the 0-5 record for Virginia Tech collectively, it can be a bit overwhelming. So Seth Greenberg, in an attempt to be creative, put together what he calls a novel. And essentially, he told his guys, our 16 conference games are nothing more than 16 separate chapters. 5 losses means nothing when we play Duke tonight, guys. When you look at it like that, Dick, it can change a player's thinking. It's small things, it's creative, but coaches do whatever works.
Well, you know what you try to do is you want to make certain that you don't allow the previous loss to carry to the next game. It's tough to do. You could say you want to do all of that, but psychologically the kids know 0-5 is 0-5. Am I right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. And you got to give the coaches credit for, coming up with different things and trying to motivate them. That's their job. But you hope the kids don't buy into everything you try.
Set trying right now to go to the zone and to match up on Reddick.
A lot of contact. Williams forced it up. They say last touch by Virginia Tech.
Reddick right now comes into this game 2,291 points, 4th on Duke's list, 9th all-time in the ACC. Needs 19 to pass David Thompson for 8th. If I were to pick my all-time college team, David Thompson would be my small forward.
The guys he is passing. Now you're talking about legends.
I mean, David Thompson, to me, was the best small forward to play in college. In fact, I'm going to try you off my head now, lay on you my top 5 by position of all time. See what you think of them.
You're going to be wrong.
My guards, Oscar Robertson, Jerry West.
Oh, you got it right.
In the middle, I'm going Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
My big forward, Larry Bird.
Yep.
And my small forward, I'm going with Mr. Thompson.
That's tough to argue with. That's tough to argue with.
Well, Elvin Hayes can be there, the big forward. You can go on and on. So many great players. I'm talking just college. Obviously, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, they didn't play 4 years.
43-28. The lead has grown to 15. That's the biggest deficit Virginia Tech has faced in an ACC game this year.
So much motivation for Duke coming off a loss. What played to that buzzer beater down there at Cameron against them.
Sales with a runner blocked by McRoberts.
Sheldon Williams had the bad game in their last game. So much motivation that they had to face because Seth Greenberg's had his kids ready to play tonight.
Gordon is going to come back in, the junior out of Jacksonville, Florida. Sales will sit down for Seth Greenberg. Mike Krzyzewski has both Williams and Reddick.
Such a tough lead.
Well, now he just took Williams out to give him a break with 2.5 minutes to go.
Got this league a little bit down this year, Mike. Everybody talks about Connecticut, if they had Villanueva. Well, what about, for example, if North Carolina had Felton, May, and McCants? I mean, are you serious? Connecticut very good, though. I still think talent-wise, pure talent, they're the best team in America. But that doesn't mean that they automatically, by mind, beat Duke. Duke focuses, I think, a little bit more on every possession than Connecticut.
A.D. Vasallo with the rebound.
Vasallo, good shooter as well.
Gordon wide open. Been a tough shooting night for Gordon.
They're going to have to make some threes. Now, Dell's been a little up and down shooting this year as well. Had 21 in their last game against Maryland. Terps, big win. You did the game last night. Kaner Medley played great, 33.
They were terrific.
Playing without McRae. Nelson.
No. Rebound to Gordon. Witherspoon's not on the court. He's the guy that can really unload on those threes. Dowdell is short. You need great guard play if you're going to have a chance to beat Duke, and right now they're not getting it, although Dowdell gets a steal.
Nice pass there. Nice pass. Great look.
Washington comes flying down the baseline.
He's a high riser. He's an elevator man. These fans want to go wild, these Hokies. They want to go wild, baby.
And Gordon just moved into 6th all-time as an assist man at Virginia Tech. It came at a very big moment for them.
You're going to see the little lob up on top. Mr. Washington with the catch. His dad, former NFL player for many a year. There's the catch, the jam. Tell you what football they have down here, though. They really get after it. You see the high riser.
Frank Beamer's done a remarkable
phenomenal
record.
I was in his office today. Beautiful office he has. Hey, you would have been proud of me 2 nights ago. Oh, you would have been proud of me. I went to a concert to see Vince Gill. He was terrific.
I told you Vince Gill was great.
He was terrific, but ready for this? Shocked me. He impersonated me to the crowd. He's spotted me in the audience, and he goes, Dickie V's in the house. Am I a PTP? Am I awesome, baby? Vince Gill is a big sports fan.
He's a wonderful singer.
Oh, he's terrific.
Just terrific.
Yeah, he's terrific. Well, Billy Joel was pretty good. I saw him about 3 weeks ago. So you didn't know I was diversified.
No, you can afford the tickets. Although I'm sure you didn't pay for them.
No, I paid. I paid, yeah.
13-point lead, 1:19 to go. Reddick around the screen, short on the 3.
Good job defensively on Reddick right there. Didn't have the open look.
Vasallo got in his face.
They need a little spurt right now, man. Need some points.
Vasallo off balance. Looked like 6 body parts going 6 different directions.
Duke's going to go in with command. Mike Krzyzewski's excited about recruiting. He said, I'm getting LeBron James. I'm getting Kobe Bryant. Play on the Olympic team.
Reddick, good pass. Malchione wide open for 3. Can't hit it.
You know what's great about Reddick? The kids love playing with him. A lot of times you have a star like that, there's a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy.
And it's amazing that a guy who averages 27 points a game is not selfish. That's incredible,
Exactly.
really.
He's been brilliant. Mike Krzyzewski today, before the game, just raved about what it's been like.
And he plays so many minutes, Dick. He had to get in such great shape, just worked himself to death over the summer to be in the best shape of his life.
That's smart right here, going in with the commanding lead.
See if they can add to it. Paula says, okay, let's go. Good pass. Malchione wide open in the corner, in and out. McRoberts trying to keep it alive. A strip. A second to go.
That's the end of the first half.
Duke got a good look. Couldn't convert. Our score at the half, Duke 43, Virginia Tech 30. Now let's send it to Dave Revson in the studio for the UPS halftime report.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. So a 13-point lead for the Blue Devils at the break on the road against Virginia Tech. Here with Fran Fraschilla and Hubert Davis. And guys, thoughts on the first half?
Well as Virginia Tech has played Duke over the last couple games, you know that Duke has really put on a nice performance tonight. But given everything Virginia Tech has been through with the injuries and the family issues off the court, this is a good young team. There's a lot of talent on this team.
How about you, Hubert?
Well, defensively, I like what Duke is doing. They're taking a step off and keeping dribble penetration for Virginia Tech. Offensively, they're getting the ball down to Sheldon Williams. He had 4 points against Georgetown. They really made an emphasis of getting him the ball. He has 14 points in the first half.
Yeah, and this is nothing new for him against Virginia Tech, 21-19. Last time Duke played the Hokies in that narrow escape at Cameron Indoor Stadium. All right, more from these guys coming up. There is some news to catch you up on, though, and that Ron Artest deal, of course, becoming official yesterday. The volatile forward going from the Indiana Pacers to Sacramento in exchange for Peja Stojakovic. It ends what had been an often troubled time for Artest in Indiana, occasionally spectacular as well for the All-Star, most notoriously, of course, part of that brawl 2004 in Detroit, had been sitting out since demanding a deal in December. He discussed the trade with ESPN today.
Well, it's not always bad for change when someone needs change. In this case, I think the Pacers, they're going to feel like it's a load off their shoulders when they get, Stojakovic, and now everybody knows they can move forward and they can now compete, for the Eastern Conference championship.
So Artest in Indy, and now no Jermaine O'Neal for a couple months. O'Neal tore his groin, sorry Mike Patrick, in a loss to the Cavs Tuesday, out at least 8 weeks. And the Raptors have fired GM Rob Babcock. Toronto mired at 14-29. Babcock criticized for not getting much in return for the Vince Carter deal, also the pick of Rafael Araujo in the 04 draft. Coming up, our weekly look at the best jams of the last 7 days. We give you a look and we give you a vote as well. Thursday Throwdown finalists. And we will also take a gander look back at the biggest stunners of the week.
The Volunteers have stunned the second-ranked Florida Gators. Hayes win! Hayes win! Hayes win! The Hayes have upset #1 Duke.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Acura. Experience the performance today at your local Acura dealer. And TD Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers. Welcome back to the UPS Halftime Report.
Throwdown Thursday presented by IBM. It's Duke on top of Virginia Tech by 13 at the break in the first game for the Dukies since their loss to Georgetown. Well, that certainly was an upset among our noteworthy upsets of the season, but I think we can all agree the one at the top, certainly the biggest stunner, North Dakota State this past Saturday over Wisconsin. Badgers had lost one Big Ten game at home in Bo Ryan's 5 years. That's in the conference they lost one game.
How about Carnegie Mellon outsmarting Princeton?
Princeton still SATs by about 100.
Boston College, North Carolina.
Oh, Carolina. Forget that Carolina stuff.
Come on, stop. Aside from, by the way, I looked that up. I looked at Princeton by about 100 over Carnegie Mellon
on the SATs,
just in case you're curious. In your opinion, Hubert, aside from that North Dakota State game, biggest upset of the year, and taking your personal allegiance aside,
where did I go to school? I thought the biggest upset was Seton Hall versus NC State. NC State was playing at such a high level. They're second in the ACC at 4-2. Seton Hall 10th in the Big East at 2-3. They came back, played Duke, and lost by 53 at Cameron Indoor Stadium. They come back to the Raleigh-Durham area and out-rebound NC State by 14. NC State, a great three-point shooting team, 8 of 30 from the three-point line.
Well, and that's a great win for Louis Orr and his crew. But I'll tell you, my upset is Portland beating Oregon. Now, it doesn't sound like a big upset. And don't forget, Portland's got little Pooh Jeter, one of the best players in the country, under 6 feet. But 5 days later, Oregon loses at home to Portland State, the Daily Double, David, at Christmas time, which really made for a sad Christmas for Ernie Kent and his Oregon Ducks.
I'll tell you, I mean, you talk about that Seton Hall game. I mean, just last night, you have Marshall defeating West Virginia. You have South Carolina beating Florida. And we almost, a couple nights ago, saw Villanova lose as well to South Florida. And speaking of South Florida, they lead off our Thursday throwdowns. How do you like that for a transition? Let's get right to them. South Florida at Seton Hall, the very team we were talking about winning last night, and that's McHugh Mattis of South Florida. 16-11, but they did lose to the Pirates. How about this? Wake Forest, NC State, Chris Ellis down the lane. He had 7-11 rebounds and a 10-point loss.
Oh, and I saw this one in person. A.J. Abrams to P.J. Tucker. Take a look at that alley-oop.
Very spectacular there. And Auburn and Kentucky, ESPN game as well. Frank Tolbert, the big-time jam, 11 points, 4 rebounds off the bench in the loss. So, whose throwdown was the best? Was it Mattis, Ellis, Tucker, or Tolbert? Log on, ESPN.com. Sport Nation will give you the winner, 9 Eastern, ESPN 2. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up on the women's game. Lady Vols fresh up a thumping by Duke, and they bounce back against an improved Kentucky club. It's an interesting game right now. Highlights coming up.
This halftime report is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? This is the UPS halftime report.
Tennessee and Kentucky, Lady Vols coming off their first loss, of course, to Duke. Taking on an improved Kentucky team. That's Carly Ormerod right there. Lady Vols 24 straight wins coming in over Kentucky, but having their problems against Mickey DeMoss's crew. She's a former Tennessee assistant. Nice pass there to Jenny Pfeiffer. And look at this. Tennessee in jeopardy of losing its second straight. Kentucky up by 5 at the break. It's Duke by 13 at the half in Blacksburg. Greg Paulus, nice feed there to Josh McRoberts. 2 of his 4. We'll get you back out for the second half next.
This halftime report is delivered by UPS. What can Brown do for you? ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by State Farm. Great service, great rates. That's why 40 million drivers trust State Farm. And Wendy's Super Value Menu. Do what tastes right.
We're at the half in Blacksburg, Virginia, where Duke is leading Virginia Tech 43-30. Welcome back to Cassell Coliseum, everybody. Nearly 10,000 people packed in here tonight, Dick. Duke in the first half was Duke. They did everything well except three-point shooting. So this could be a lot worse right now.
Well, you know, they defended well, but they did a great job executing offensively. Pounded the ball to the interior, got Sheldon Williams inbound. They weren't happy with his last performance, but right here they bring it in deep, takes it up strong. He and Reddick between them had 25. They really went inside. McRoberts made a couple of big plays as well. We watched Williams again. He was very effective. Went to the bench for a couple of minutes. I really think he got motivated. Also, don't forget, DeMarcus Nelson gave him a big lift off the bench. Hit 3 big baskets.
He means an awful lot to them if DeMarcus Nelson can get back to 100%.
Very important. You and I have talked about it so much over the years. When you're down like they are at home, they have to have a great spurt right now, Virginia Tech, in the first 4 minutes.
Washington barely touched the rim, and McRoberts with a rebound.
Can't allow Duke to go on a spurt right now.
And they're one of those teams who can do it to you. 10-12 in a row easily. Reddick lost it. Paulus got it.
Great ball movement.
Dockery wide open. Duke so smart. They all pass so well.
So unselfish. Always reversing the ball. Always trying to break the defense down. Defenses a lot of times can play the first pass, but have a difficult time when you get to the third and fourth pass.
46-30.
Duke's last 5 games on the road. Ready for this? Over 30. My friends, that is special when you can go away from home and put 30 on the board 5 of your last 5 games.
Gordon, nice pass. Collins fouled by McRoberts. Let's check in with Doris.
Some thoughts from Seth Greenberg on the offensive end. He talked about having better shot selection while being aggressive. Sometimes those are 2 things that are difficult to jive. Obviously, that looked by Coleman Collins pretty good. On the defensive end, as far as Sheldon Williams was concerned, he said we need to do a better job early getting in position, and then the guards have got to double quicker. They did go to some junk late in that first half, Dick. Look for it again in the second.
Well, you know, I'll tell you, Doris, really, when I look at this kid Collins, I think he's going to be one of the special players in America. He's playing with so much on his mind emotionally. His dad very, very ill, battling lung cancer. His love for his dad is special. Doris documented it, how he's going to get in the car after the game and drive with his brother to Stone Mountain, Georgia. But this kid is going to be a special player in college.
There's his brother, Jackson Jr.
They got to get a spurt somehow. Duke really matching up on a perimeter, not giving them a lot of good looks.
DeMarcus Nelson back in the ball game. Dowdell tries to penetrate and can't.
They got to be happy seeing Nelson out there. He just adds a little depth to that roster. Mike Krzyzewski's never been a guy to play a deep bench.
Dowdell tries a circus shot.
Out of control. It's out of control right there.
Guards have done a lot too much one-on-one tonight.
Trying to be too spectacular. They might think they get 5 for those kind of shots, the acrobatic shots.
How about 0 instead?
Yeah, 0. And maybe 2 the other way.
Williams looking inside.
A lot of patience being shown by Duke here.
13-footer. It was in twice and came out. Williams got it back, missed that shot. Virginia Tech lucky they didn't touch it. Would have been a goaltend. Now Dowdell, this is Witherspoon, and Witherspoon took his eye off of it and lost the ball.
Can't get any rhythm offensively. Can't get anything to flow. This crowd was all juiced up, ready to really explode here tonight, too.
Team's got to help them. They're still ready to do that. You might notice DeMarcus Nelson wearing that wrap on his right ankle. He still is not running at 100%. Reddick, Williams got the follow. Reddick went down hard.
That's the best tandem in America. Reddick and Williams. Williams with the follow on the offensive rebound.
Collins.
Got those long arms, very active. As I said earlier, great student as well.
He's the only one in double digits for Virginia Tech tonight. Gets them back within 15. He needs some help.
Gonna need some guard play. You said it well early. You gotta have guard play to beat Duke.
McRoberts lost it. Here comes Dowdell. Again, goes in, 1-on-2, can't hit the shot.
It's amazing when you look at the stats. Virginia Tech's done a great job all year in not turning the ball over and playing on the defensive side. But shot selection really has been a nightmare for them tonight.
Taking a lot of horrible shots right now. Williams on the pass from Reddick. bucket and the foul.
What a combination. Reddick and Williams, the bench loves it. They jump with joy. I mean, think about some of the great tandems in America. This is Uno #1, man. You go out, you give some help. You got to play him head-to-head, Reddick. It's very difficult. There's some of my best, man. You look Reddick and Williams, Brown and Augustine in Illinois, Williams, Armstrong, you can factor in Gay or certainly Gibson and Tucker and Aldridge. I can't wait to see them Saturday night. And I know Norman, Oklahoma is going to be going bananas. Game day will be there. It'll be a lot of fun. They're on a fire right now. You're not going to beat by Duke.
That's a neat place to see a game.
Reddick had that 41 against Texas. I think the Longhorns would like another shot.
The push off by Washington. An offensive foul, his second. Then Duke will take over the ball, and Seth Greenberg voicing his displeasure again.
He's not inviting Reggie to dinner? Reggie Greenberg, I thought he's invited to come to a Super Bowl party. Oh, look at the little...
That wasn't much. That wasn't much.
Oh, it's swim.
Now they're getting on J.J. Redick's back. And that should be a walk.
He walked prior to the foul.
And now a technical. I thought he walked.
He did walk. He did walk, Mike. No doubt about it. He walked prior to the foul. I mean, Ted Valentine is not going to waste any time slapping you with the team. He just went right after him. Now you take a look right here. There's the walk right there. He definitely lifted that pivot.
But then he pushed him.
Then he pushed him right in.
Jamon Gordon commits the foul and then is hit with a technical, so that's 2 in the space of a second. And that's the frustration that's boiling over, but that's just a silly play.
That was a good call, though, in terms of the technical.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey, what about the technical? What about
Tom
the technical?
Penders?
I mean, are you kidding? Guys taking out a stretcher and you call a T on him and then you don't rescind it? Where's your heart, man? Where's your heart? I mean, on a stretcher. I mean, I can't believe that.
Penders is probably thinking, I might get another one because they...
he's shooting the technical. Oh, no, he's shooting the fouls now.
He'd shoot the fouls first. And we know who's going to shoot the technical.
Well, if you got somebody else, you got to scoop.
The best free throw shooter ever will shoot the technical. Let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, J.J. Redick has been honing this exact free throw routine. He's going to catch it, take the ball, he'll spin it first, dribble, spin, a quick word to himself. It's a verse of scripture, actually, guys. And this is something he has worked on since his 9th grade year. Wow. They talk about repetition, Dick, and having the same routine. Well, it's worked pretty well. This year his percentage down a bit. Coach Krzyzewski said he is a guy who's had to work so hard at so many other things that I think he's lost his focus on his free throws.
Yeah, a little fatigue. I'll tell you one thing, the impression he's made on young kids. My 2 grandsons are here, 3 years of age. They got their J.J. Redick shirts on. They don't know many players at all, but they do all the time. Echo the word. J.J.
He has just tied David Thompson for 8th on the all-time ACC scoring list. And very soon he will pass David Thompson, Jeff Lamp, and Mike Jaminski.
Pretty good players. Can he catch Johnny Dawkins?
He's got a chance to be number 1 all-time. Paulus for 3. Knew it was short. Melchione can't save it. 15:52 to go in the game. Duke has built a 21-point lead here in Blacksburg. Duke by 21 with 15:52 to go in the game. Don't forget about our big Saturday night of college basketball. 3 of the top 6 teams in the country will be in action. First, number 6 Villanova and Notre Dame. Then number 2 Duke hosting Virginia. Then it's Saturday primetime presented by Cisco Systems. Number 4 Texas visiting Norman to take on Oklahoma. We have it all for you on Saturday.
Oh, I got a chance. My little grandson's 3 years old. JJ came over to talk to him. His mom taking a picture. JJ came over.
He's a good kid. He really is, Dick.
He really is a terrific kid. I can't wait to take my other daughter, Terry, and Chris, and their children, Ryan and Sydney, to a game. It's first game for my grandsons.
Is that right?
Yeah, their first major college basketball.
Pretty good. 247 points shy of Johnny Dawkins' all-time Duke record. At his current rate, he'll get it before the regular season is over. But Gordon tried to get it inside. Duke comes out with a loose ball. They have been terrific with their hands on defense tonight.
I think Duke's played really well, Mike. They've done a good job defensively.
Even though they haven't shot well from outside.
Right. But they've executed offensively, had a lot of patience, good ball movement. And they met a team all charged up as usual to play them.
Melchione had it knocked out of bounds. Johnny Dawkins, of course, the longtime assistant coach for Mike Krzyzewski.
Going to be a head coach, one of the classiest guys you could ever want to meet for a superstar.
Backdoor lob, Micah Roberts, showing you some athletic ability as well as the size and power he has inside.
And that back screen. When they're playing on all cylinders and all the parts are functioning, they're so unbelievably tough to beat. And they have to be really effective in all parts to offset all the emotion and intensity and the efforts they get every night.
That foul on Melchione. There's the backdoor lob.
Breakdown right there by Virginia Tech. No way that should happen on the inbounds of the basketball right over the top of the defense.
Line for the Hokies shooting 2 shots. Number 13, Devon.
You know, you mentioned you got that game Saturday, Duke and Virginia. Singletary's one of the guys that I'm going to write about how I wish I would have an opportunity to see play. Another one's Mike Gansey at West Virginia, who was shocked on Wacky Wednesday by Marshall.
Yep.
Thunder and Herd beat them.
Gansey is terrific.
Terrific.
Got great hands.
I wish I would have gotten an opportunity to see. I'll give you another one. Down in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I have not seen Ronnie Brewer. His dad was part of the triplets.
Yeah.
Marvin Delph and Sidney Moncrief and certainly Ronnie Brewer Sr. But the young guy is a terrific defensive player as well as offensively.
Virginia Tech's had some opportunities tonight, but they haven't been able to cash in. I know the guards have to be disappointed in the way they have played tonight because these two kids, Xavier Dowdell and Jamon Gordon, combine for about 26 points a game, and they have taken a lot of individual moves tonight and missed the shots.
Yeah, really haven't played to their potential. Their losses have been Heartbreak Hotel, but tonight they are really being dominated by this Duke team.
I think that was a 3-second call on Sheldon Williams. All 5 losses, a total of 25 points. It has been close shaves one after the other for Virginia Tech.
You know, Seth Greenberg, one of the first houses I ever went in as a recruiter was to the Greenberg house trying to recruit his brother Brad for Rutgers.
Did it work?
No, he went to St. Joe's, but I ended up getting a pretty good player instead by the name of Phil Sellers.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Xavier Dowdell with a runner averages 15.2 points a game. You know, the Hokies need points in bunches.
They're going to make some things happen defensively. Brad Greenberg drafted Allen Iverson when he was the general manager of the Sixers.
That's pretty good. Dockery can't get inside, comes back out.
This is what you call patience, poise, good basketball IQ. I call him a stabilizer. He's a stabilizer in that quintet.
Melchione has had the cold hand tonight, usually a very reliable long-range shooter. Reddick hasn't had much luck either.
They play Reddick very tough. They really get after him.
Dowdell.
He's got an ability to score. There's no question Dowdell can put a lot of points on the board. Had a nice outing in that game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Those fans are so passionate at Cameron Indoor Stadium. You talk about a home court edge.
Oh.
Got a great formula. Great coaching, plus great talent, plus great fans, usually equals W.
Very good.
Not bad. That's pretty good for chemistry, huh? I know you're proud after 20 years working with me.
Reddick off the inbound, buries the 3. He has just passed David Thompson.
Let me ask you this. I know you're a big basketball guy for many a year. Is he, without question, in the argument as one of the greatest shooters of all time?
As a guy who shoots from everywhere under any circumstance, yes.
Okay. He's in the argument. I buy that. The argument comes about with guys like Mullen and Mount and the West, and you can make the argument for that kid's name in there as well.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Reggie Miller was pretty good as well.
There's some guys who are standstill jump shooters who would have much better percentages, but they're not the players those other guys were.
Kyle Macy was pretty good.
Williams, baseline jumper.
Sheldon came to play tonight.
Yes,
I think he got a message, man. He got a message when Coach K said, we were JJ watching, man. Everybody was JJ watching.
But that's pretty easy to do, Dick.
Yeah, get the Kodak camera out and start snapping some pictures.
Dowdell feeling it a little bit, can't hit that one.
He's not Coach JJ watching tonight. Everybody's contributing.
Sheldon Williams' average has dropped off to number 6 in the ACC. He's down to 17.6 points a game, while Reddick's at 27. At 44 between these two superstars on an average night. Williams down the lane, called for a travel. 11:45 to go in the game. Duke is in control, led by the All-American J.J. Reddick. They're up 61-39. What a day last Saturday was. The day started with 3 undefeated teams. They all fell for the first time this year. St. John's beat Pitt. That was early in the day at Madison Square Garden. The day ended with a shocker in the SEC. Tennessee and new coach Bruce Pearl over Florida. And, of course, the big upset of the entire day, Georgetown and Washington, D.C. over #1 Duke. And you've got to hand it to Mike Krzyzewski. For the second time in his career, he was 17-0, goes down to defeat, and he was as gracious as he always is. He said, when you lose to somebody, you hope it's to somebody who deserved it, and boy, they deserved it today.
Oh, they really deserved it. They held Duke off. They had the big lead. I know Big John Thompson had to be proud of his son,
Absolutely.
but I also know this. He's got the deepest pockets and the shortest arms. I bet he didn't take his son out for dinner and pay for it. Come on, Big John, take the third out for dinner.
Dowdell with a runner.
Dowdell's trying to put some points on the board, but they better come up with some defensive stops.
Now, they can't afford to trade baskets with Duke, even 3 for 2. Dowdell has scored the last 8 points for Tech. That's knocked out of bounds by McRoberts. Let's go to Doris.
Well, guys, after Duke's loss to Georgetown on Saturday, they were back at it Sunday fairly early, in for a film session that was fairly lengthy, about noon, and then a 3-hour practice 2 to 5. He had them prepared. Felt like they had a breakdown in their communication system. Gave them off Monday, back to work yesterday, guys, but they were prepared tonight.
I'll tell you, Doris, he told you and I before the game that they didn't communicate at all. They didn't talk on defense. They didn't play with any kind of intensity that they've been playing with all year.
Dowdell again is trying to take Nelson, and Nelson held him.
I think Sheldon got the message big time. Take a look at those numbers against Georgetown. You know what? Earlier in this game, he took him out of the game. And I think he gave a little message then early, too. Said, hey, man, you're going to be an All-American. You got to get yourself really involved. And he did.
You know, even great players have off nights, and it's so hard to just stay motivated every game and to play hard every game. It doesn't happen.
You know, it's amazing. When I look at the numbers that LeBron James is putting up, Kobe Bryant at their age, LeBron, I mean, he would be a junior in college. It's unbelievable, Mike, the guy, the numbers he puts up every day, just loves to play. You know, last time Duke was 17-0, you and I did the game. 92, they got beat by North Carolina.
That's right.
That's when Eric Montross was bleeding. Remember that game?
That was a national championship year for them. And a huge win for North Carolina in that battle. Reddick down the lane, double team. This adds a block. Reddick doesn't beef about it, just gets back on defense. Here comes Sales, who's into the ball game. The lead is still 20.
Last year they were 15-0 to start the season. Got beat by Maryland, and then they won right after that. 2003, they're 12-0. They lose 2 straight when they lost to Maryland, NC State.
Run a little weave outside. The shot clock down to 11 for Sales. Bad pass picked off by Paulus.
He hesitated.
Oh, what a play by Gordon. Got back, got a piece of it.
Great play by Gordon, but Paulus hesitated. Should have taken the ball right to the goal. Here's the script, the anticipation, the passing lane. Now you got to go to the goal. He hesitated. He hesitated. He was hearing those footsteps.
Well, you can see what he was trying to do. He wanted Gordon up in the air so you get an uncontested layup, but Gordon wasn't buying it.
Stay on the floor was the message of the Virginia Tech locker room on the board to play J.J. Redick. Don't leave your feet.
Dockery down the lane draws the foul.
Hokies foul at 42. Chris Tucker has his first.
Duke, a lot of people think in Duke, Mike Krzyzewski obviously comes in, has done a phenomenal job as we've documented. But Duke was pretty good in the era of Vic Bubas. Not a bad era when they had those great players, like Heyman and all that gang, Mr. Verga, Jeff Mullins, one of our favorites.
Dockery hits the first free throw. It's 62-41.
You know where they do a great job? This kid came to Duke as a liability shooting the ball.
Absolutely.
But all the coaches on a regular basis, from Dawkins to Wojciechowski to Collins, constantly with repetitious, with drills, have made him a respectable shooter.
And Duke as a team, as Collins goes in and draws the foul from Melchionic. While we have a chance, let's join Dave Revson for SportsCenter 30 at 30.
Thank you, Mike. Tiger Woods, first round of the year, playing in the Buick Invitational at Torrey Pines. 1 under 71 today, 6 off the lead. Hit just one fairway. He's playing the far easier of the two courses. No more Ron Artest in Indy, and now no Jermaine O'Neal for a couple of months. O'Neal tore a muscle in his midsection. Mike, in a loss to the Cavs Tuesday, he is out at least 8 weeks. Complete details on SportsCenter, 11 Eastern, or anytime on ESPN News. Guys.
Dave, thank you so much. I feel better already.
You know, Tiger's thinking about that 71, but he's probably wondering about $38 million right now for a check for a spread that he's going to live in.
You know what I just realized? I've had a round of golf like Tiger Woods. Hit one fairway all day.
Great drive right there.
Gordon scores.
Gordon and Dowdell, they're going to hurt somebody. They're going to get a win, and it's going to give them a little lift, and I believe they'll go on a little bit of a run. They're too talented to be sitting 0-6, and they're well coached.
Records falling all over the place tonight, Dick. Sheldon Williams just moved into a tie for 19th all-time with the jumping jack kid, Billy Cunningham.
Wow, was he special.
Oh,
Erasmus
wonderful.
High School. And who did he go to high school with? A young singer who was pretty good. Her name, Barbara Streisand.
Not bad. Yeah, but could she go to her left?
Boy, she got some tone. I think personally in my life, the best shooter I've seen has been Chris Mullin in terms of television. I'm not talking prior to television with West and Mount. I'm talking in television. I thought Mullin, I think what hurts JJ a little bit sometimes is shot selection.
62-44, 9 minutes left in the ball game. 62-44, Duke over Virginia Tech. In the 2 weeks leading up to Super Bowl 40, ESPN will present Super Bowl at XL, a series of 7 ESPN original entertainment programs spanning 8 hours to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Super Bowl. It all kicks off tonight with the ultimate Super Bowl 40-man roster, including the Super Bowl's all-time best performers. Chris Berman hosts as we kick off some terrific Super Bowl programming tonight on ESPN. Best Super Bowl player ever, Dick. Who's going to be at the top of that list?
It's got to be Montana, no? Joe Montana, pretty good choice.
4 wins.
Wow, what about Coach? Got to be my guy. AEIOU, Mr. Lombardi, Vince Lombardi.
And shame on me, I screwed up Billy Cunningham's nickname, the Kangaroo Kid, obviously.
He was a jumping jack.
Great rebounder.
Great player.
Great guy, too.
Played on one of the first Dean Smith teams.
Pass intended for Williams, picked off by Jamon Gordon.
I miss those guys, Dean Smith, John Thompson, Lou Carnesecca. I think of all the great ones. In fact, I told Jerry Lindquist in an interview with me, and I want to thank him for his kind words today. But in the interview, I saw how much I miss all the characters in coaching. The Al McGuires, the Jimmy Valvanos, all those guys, the Carnesecas. They were so special, man. They brought so much excitement.
Well, you're still here. That's all the characters we really need these days. 8.5 minutes to go in the ball game. 18 points. Is there a run in Virginia Tech? Boy, nice step out by Sheldon Williams.
Pretty tough to get a run the way Duke's playing on the defensive side. They're really matching up, helping out, closing off, driving angles. Pretty good shooter in our studio, too. And I'm telling you, Fran Fraschilla could pass the ball. The shooter was Mr. Davis. Hubert Davis wasn't a bad shooter.
Yes, he was. Melchione picked up his 4th foul, so McRoberts will come back in the ball game.
Melchione's uncle was a pretty good shooter.
Yes,
Bill
he was.
Melchione at Villanova. Cats had a tough time with former Seth Greenberg's team, South Florida. Played without Alan Ray.
Washington free from 17 and did. Deron Washington, the sophomore from New Orleans.
I can see some nice parts in that Virginia Tech team. You really do. And you just waiting for them to break out, get that one big win, and get that confidence.
Duke just hopes it's not tonight, as it was last year.
That's right. Last year they stunned them here, beat them by a deuce.
Reddick, who will soon be the #1 three-point shooter in the history of college basketball. And that one's knocked out of bounds with 5 on the shot clock. Tough play by Dockery, nearly lost it.
Taking over for a guy from down in Virginia who used to shoot it pretty well.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And in part by Adidas, who would like to introduce you to the many sides of Kevin Garnett. Meet them all out at adidas.com/basketball.
Duke's lead has been cut to 16 here at Virginia Tech. Let's check in with Doris.
Well, Mike, I just wanted to update DeMarcus Nelson's health situation. Remember back on November 23rd, he broke a bone in his right ankle versus Drexel in the season tip-off NIT. That cost him some games. Came back, then January 11th versus Maryland, a bone bruise in that same right ankle. Completely different injuries. But you see that gray brace that he's wearing on his right foot. He's trying to keep it loose. According to Mike Krzyzewski, and Dick, I had the sense he was very concerned about DeMarcus's long-term health. They've limited him in practice. He's only played 16 minutes. He's contributed, but they are being very careful with this young man because they feel for the long-term health of this ball club, he must be healthy for this team to win big, guys.
Well, you know, Doris, Mike was telling us he's not athletic like he normally would be because of that brace that's on that foot. Hey, remember in the first meeting, Duke was up by 11 at the end of the game. Virginia Tech scored 12 straight before the miracle shot.
Well, they're on a little run here. Deron Washington with the tip in. They're down to 14 points.
You think that maybe Mr. Greenberg reminded him of that? And I'm certainly Mr. Krzyzewski's going to remind Duke, hey guys, we're at home up 11 with like 2 minutes to go, and they score 12 in a row.
Duke hasn't hit a field goal since the 12-20
There's a foul
mark.
right there.
And there's Reddick. As you mentioned earlier, if you're guarding Reddick, you got to stay on the floor. Deron Washington got caught in the air.
He has such great ball fakes and head fakes. Here comes the tip in. Very active, nobody blocked out. I like Washington's athletic ability. This guy can run and jump.
Most of the time, his free throws do not touch the rim. He had a three-point shot a couple of weeks ago, Dick. The net didn't move. I mean, it just went through like there was nothing there.
Takes everybody's best hit, comes back and just plays and plays and plays.
64-48.
They got to make every possession count now. Virginia Tech as a hold on the wing. Not a good play by Dockery. Stop the clock. You got the lead.
It's 2 on Dockery.
Kids got to understand score, time, situation. Like the Georgetown game we talked about, you're up 4 and you foul a three-point shooter with 1 point some seconds. I mean, you got to know situations. Kids don't know that. They don't pay attention to it.
Tucker for 3.
That's big. A little momentum. They can get it into single digits.
That is only the 3rd three-point shot Chris Tucker has made all year in limited minutes.
Look pretty good shooting that one. Crowd wants to get really into it.
What a tough shot by Reddick. Fadeaway jumper at the baseline. J.J. Redick has 20.
So versatile. That was a mini look of a Jerry West kind of fadeaway jump.
Tucker again can't hit this one.
Put Tucker out there to get some threes. That was a big basket by Redick, showing his multi-dimensional talent.
You know, that's the thing about him, Dick. He's just not a scorer anymore. He's just not a kid who has a great shooting stroke. He's somebody you can go to at any time, particularly in a clutch, and he's going to get the bucket. Williams scores.
The best scoring guard in America. Mr. Morrison, the best forward in America.
Who's the best player?
Well, I'm going to give an edge right now. I think right now, if I'm
Redick won
today,
it last year.
It's got to be Redick today. And the way he's playing in incredible environments, the tough games he's had to face, but it's tough not to talk about Mr. Morrison. He's been sensational.
Only 7 players have ever repeated as Player of the Year.
He won the Rupp Award last year. Look at that head fake. Look at the ball fake. Look at the fadeaway J. Look at the arc on the shot. Take a look at some of these guys.
The only guys left above him, Dickie Hemrick, you got to go back a long way to Wake Forest, Johnny Dawkins, Rodney Monroe, Brian Stiff, Christian Laettner, and Mike Jaminski. 3 of the remaining guys ahead of him from Duke, and then Jeff Lamp passed David Thompson tonight. He only needs one more bucket to pass Lamp, and then Jaminski is the next guy in the headlights.
David Thompson was the best small forward to me ever in college basketball that I ever witnessed. Right behind him, a close second, I'd put the senator, Mr. Bradley, at Princeton.
And it's a shame more people didn't get to see David Thompson because drugs ruined his pro career.
But he's really bounced back strong now, and he's really doing a great job helping out others.
Washington driving on Redick. Virginia Tech needs to score every time down. Collins draws the foul.
Good foul, number 23, Sheldon Williams. That's his 3rd.
3 on Sheldon Williams. There is Coleman Collins' brother, Jackson Jr. When this game is over, they are going to get in a car and drive to see their father, Jackson, who is battling cancer. He is in a hospice. They're from Stone Mountain, Georgia. He has been fighting that dread disease, and they're going to go see him.
I'll tell you, Mike, it's unbelievable. I will never forget Jimmy Valvano at the hotel across from the ESPN studios. We were there one night, and I will never forget him jumping out of his bed, punching the walls, crying and screaming, and saying, Dick, he said, it's all through my body at you. Take your worst toothache and run it through your body all day long. And that's why we work so religiously to raise so much money with the V Foundation.
And this team as a group has battled cancer, have had more heartaches than you would think anyone could bear. Paulus, nice drive against a double team. Here comes Washington on the run.
Out of control right there. Took the ball right into traffic.
Jamon Gordon can't hit the shot. There's a travel on Sheldon Williams. And Mike Krzyzewski very upset about that call.
He's not happy with the way they're playing here late in the game either. You know, when it's tough to stay focused when you got that big lead. What makes him special, Coach K, is that intensity and emotion he brings. Always striving for perfection. Learned that when he played for the General Robert Montgomery Knight at West Point.
Washington goes down, and Seth Greenberg is the one complaining now.
Nice
Mick
pass.
Roberts. That's
Nice.
Redick with another assist.
Nice unselfish look. Mick Roberts is going to be one heck of a player.
70-53. Duke with some more breathing room. Here's Dowdell. Nice dish to Washington. Washington gets the bucket, takes the contact from Williams, and no call. Well, that looked like he really got hammered.
Dowdell with the great look. Dowdell's a pretty good, talented player. Very explosive.
Both guards have taken a lot of bad shots tonight for Virginia Tech. The kind of shots they normally make. But they're bad when you miss them.
You did the game here against North Carolina.
Yes.
Forced 25 turnovers in that game and lost.
And still lost.
I think Roy Williams has done a magnificent job losing 7 guys, his 7 top scorers. Wait till that club gets together next year.
Washington, good crossover to get inside. Bucket and the foul on Mick Roberts.
They are a pretty talented team, this Virginia Tech. These Hokies.
It's hard to imagine that they have lost all 5 ACC games this year, even though every one of them has been close. A loss is a loss. 72-57. Back after this.
Dave Revson in our Sports Center in-game studios. Want to update you on UAB and number 3 Memphis. Memphis on top 34-27. This is a battle of 2 of the 3 remaining unbeatens in conference play in Conference USA. UTEP being the other one. A chance to see one of the nation's most unheralded backcourts. Courtney Lee along with Anthony Winchester leading Western Kentucky against Louisiana Lafayette. 9 Eastern, ESPN 2, guys.
And one more reminder about an awesome Saturday night of college basketball. First Villanova and Notre Dame in the Big East. Then these Duke Blue Devils are back home to take on Virginia. Then at 9 Eastern on ESPN 2, perhaps the hottest team in the nation, Texas going against Oklahoma. 3 of the top 6 teams in the country in action Saturday night on the ESPN family of networks.
That's a real shootout. Can't wait to get hooked up with Tigger and Jay Billis. Hey, I know. It's my son-in-law. It's my daughter. It's my little grandson. My other one's sleeping. They're twins.
Nice-looking family.
Connor and Jake, they're twins. They got their J.J. Redick shirts on. I'll tell you this.
You know,
First game.
As hard as it is to imagine, even more bad news for the Virginia Tech family. Sean Harris, a senior team captain out of Ettrick, Virginia, is not with the team tonight because his grandmother passed away.
Wow.
I don't know what else needs to touch this team.
You know, Mike, we're having a big night at my house on May 4th, raising lots of money for the Jimmy V. And I'm so proud to announce tonight it's sold out. We sold out.
Terrific.
It's going to be a bunch of stars there meeting with the people. They're paying $1,000 a person to come. We're having guys like Luke Piniella, Scotty Bowman, Derek Brooks, Lee Corso. It's going to be a great night.
Redick too strong.
And anybody else that ever wants to help us with the V Foundation, call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. Oh, yes, big dunk.
What a drive by Gordon.
And not a good play by Paulus, rotating over, giving him a 4-point opportunity because he never was set. Here he goes. See right there? That's set.
One shot. Hokies Marcus Sales replacing 18 Cassell.
That's a high riser there and a jam. That's athletic ability.
Gordon will go to the line, 64% shooter.
It's about right now that they went on their little run in that first meeting. They were down 11, man. It looked like it was over. And Virginia Tech ripped off 12 straight. They got a little bounce in their step right now. They might be hitting the video recorder and saying, let's take a look at that tape.
Duke has to use a timeout as they had trouble inbounding the ball at the 3:05 mark. They're down by 12. 12 is doable. Last February, Virginia Tech got one of the biggest wins in its program's history when they knocked off Duke. February 17th, in the last minute, J.J. Redick's 3 put the Blue Devils ahead, but Zabian Dowdell countered with one of his own on the next possession. The Hokies had the lead. Daniel Ewing missed at the buzzer, and Blacksburg went nuts. A huge upset in their first ACC season as they knocked off Duke.
That had to be a special moment for Seth Greenberg in his first year here.
I mean, these people were literally stunned when it was over. I mean, they had hoped for it, but they didn't believe it was going to happen. Now they have it down to a legitimate number. They're down to 12 points. One more bucket, they actually have a shot.
What a great effort right there with a deflection.
Great hustle.
Got to get a stop here.
Duke 16-7 over the last 6.5 minutes. The last time they played here, and Virginia Tech won. Keep in mind, earlier this year, they had Duke beaten at Duke. And it took a 45-foot desperation shot at the buzzer to win for the Blue Devils.
And in that game, they were down 11. They were down 11 and scored 12 consecutive points.
Malchione will inbound.
The wacky world of college basketball. Dean Smith was the best at that from coming from behind, man. He was incredible.
They just found a way, didn't they?
They always found a way to pull a miracle.
Paulus double team, picks up his dribble, gets it to Reddick. All he wanted to do was get across the timeline and did.
They're going to spread the court, use Sheldon Williams as a relay man at the post.
Now you've got to get the ball out of Reddick's hand.
Tough to do.
Then front him so he doesn't get it back. Because if you foul him.
That's great strategy, but it's easier communicated than it is accomplished.
Dockery. Shot clock at 3. Paulus will have to take the shot. Melchione.
Big rebound. New shot clock.
They get a fresh 35 and now bring it back out. What a rebound by Melchione.
That's a backbreaker right there. That's a backbreaker.
Reddick, great pass against the double team.
Managing the clock, taking time off, understanding.
Can't let him get it back, Dick. I don't care what you have to do. Now Reddick drives, lost the ball.
Should have been contact there.
Yeah.
He's looking and saying, man, I'm an All-American. How come I don't get that call?
This has been an oddly officiated game. Sometimes they have gone with real ticky-tacky kind of fouls, and then other times they really let them play.
That time, there's no doubt he was fouled by that play.
And now some idiot has thrown something on the floor. Take a look at our Domino's game track. Duke just under 50% for the ball game. Sheldon Williams with a big double-double, 22 and 15. Coleman Collins working on one of his own. Free throws, Virginia Tech 9 out of 18, but they've shot only 41% from the floor. They could live with 9 out of 18 if they shot it better on field goals.
And Duke's done a great job on the perimeter defensively, not allowing the three-point shot to be any kind of a problem.
Do you know what I would like to see? I would like to see security in the ACC be stronger. So if someone throws anything on the court,
find them and get
they
rid
get
of them.
Thrown out.
Get them right out of here.
Permanently. Reddick. Melchione again. Another offensive rebound, but he couldn't control it. Or did he? Did he get a timeout?
Yes, he did.
That's 2 back-breaking offensive rebounds for Melchione. That is a total of 70 fresh seconds on the shot clock. The last thing Virginia Tech could afford.
Especially when you're down 12. Letting Melchione now beat you on the glass. Great effort. There's the smart play, the timeout. Krzyzewski gave him a nice emotional compliment as he came over. He knew he made a great play. That'll win the hearts of the coaching staff.
What a play by Melchione. Let's go to Doris.
Well, guys, those 2 rebounds become even more impressive when you think about this. Late in that Georgetown game, he rolled his ankle severely, did not participate in a lot of practice this week because of it. In fact, they questioned exactly how much playing time he would get, but I guess, guys, adrenaline pulling him through right now.
Yes, sir. And I'll tell you one other thing. Fans here don't believe they're going to win because a lot of them filing out. A lot of them filing out. They're not remembering our first game.
Well, they got more minutes out of Melchione than they might have expected. They got the return of DeMarcus Nelson. And now Sales called for a foul as he went for the steal.
He can't believe he was called for one. Has a guy ever committed a foul and said, you know what?
Apparently not. I mean, not even when the other guy's laying face down on the floor.
What an experience it must be. And I mean this, to be able to wear that uniform and play for Coach Krzyzewski. R.J. Billis did that, and I got to believe it's got to be such a special, special feeling to go through 4 years of all the meetings, the lectures, the learning process. Maybe that's why Jay's as knowledgeable as he is.
Absolutely. Seth Greenberg compared him to the Yankees, but in a good way. Obviously, they're not out, buying the talent.
People love to hate him. You love him or you hate him.
That's right.
Same with Notre Dame in football for years.
And, you know, I have always appreciated dynasties. People used to hate the Packers. They instead of embracing greatness, they dislike it for some reason.
Well, you know, North Carolina, we've had all their great runs, and UCLA, same feeling.
Dowdell did a nice job creating some space that time.
It's called envy.
Yeah.
So sad when people spend their time.
Paulus lost it and got it back somehow, and Dockery with the basket.
It's over, my friends. Over. Tuck it in the book.
Washington brings it up. A minute 32 to go in the game, and this one is a block. I tell you what, it looked to me like Deron Washington got a shot at Melchione while he was on the ground.
That's his fifth personal foul.
Shaking his head, just bouncing up. Take a look right here. They get a block.
Now watch it from this angle. Yeah, he caught him with a foot on the way up.
Oh, yes.
That's not right.
Yes, he caught him. There's no doubt he caught him. Kid kept his poise, just went over the sideline. You know, John Wooden said it the best once at a clinic, the Wizard of Westwood. He said, don't waste your time worrying about everybody else. Just be the best you can be in what you do. And don't be concerned and waste all that effort and time being jealous and talking about others.
Dick, you're absolutely right. And I'll tell you what, Washington should have received a technical for that. He's fouled out of the ball game anyhow, but he should have been gotten the heave-ho.
Obviously, they didn't see that, Mike. They didn't see it.
No, but that's wrong.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Wasn't deliberate. Wasn't deliberate.
I don't know. I think you may have been giving him a free pass there. Well, no, he's not fouled out of the ball game.
Frustration setting in. Teddy Valentine having a little conversation with Seth Greenberg.
Now Ted Valentine talking to Seth Greenberg. Now I don't know what they're going to do here.
He's talking to Washington.
Well, he is obviously still on the court. We had him with 5 fouls.
He's going out right now. Flagrant foul.
Now, they did obviously see it, and they are going to call it on him. That's a good piece of officiating. It took him a while. But Washington called for a flagrant foul. That's a good call. And Seth Greenberg, I think, not so much unhappy with the call. He's unhappy with Deron Washington.
He's ejected going out to the locker room.
And he should be.
Yeah, really not a play there.
Very unsportsmanlike play. I mean, Melchione isn't doing anything.
No doubt.
And he just stomped him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, they had the earlier problem, of course, with, with Marcus Vick being thrown out of school after he stomped an offensive lineman in the Gator Bowl game. Boy, you don't like to see anything that even has any indication of that.
And you tell you, they didn't waste time here, the administration, on Vick. And I hope that somebody gets to Vick, maybe his brother, because you read about all his episodes, and he's just like almost every day you're wondering if he's going to break somehow. He's young enough to try and get his life in order.
Now, Melchione has fouled out of this game as well. And Tucker will shoot the free throws for Washington, who is gone because of the flagrant foul. And Tucker misses the free throw. He's only taken 8 free throws all year long.
Guys got to play with class, man. Sportsmanship. Too much talking, too much yapping with one another. Look at this. Seth Greenberg certainly not a happy camper tonight. No coach likes to see a situation like that. You feel it's a reflection on you, and really I know how hard Seth works and how much he preaches doing things the right way.
Well, you simply can't have it. Reddick now with 21 points. He's hit 7 out of 8 from the line.
I'll tell you one thing, he'll address it, and I'll guarantee you this school here is a situation where they've already proven they didn't waste time in the case of Vick. You know, a lot of people, because you're a superstar and you star talent, they find a way to give you that little suspension and bring you back. Here, they didn't do that.
Well, he also had a history, Dick.
Yeah, he did.
That was hardly the first incident.
Oh, no doubt about it. And there's no question that athletes get that second and third opportunity.
Yes, they do.
I mean, come on now. Had it right up in Connecticut. Had Marcus Williams not been an athlete, there is no way he's playing for Connecticut.
Absolutely.
If he was a normal student, he'd have been gone. So
no, I don't like the double standard.
But it does exist.
Yes, it does. Williams wheels to the bucket. Gordon back the other way, under a minute to go.
You just hope that when kids get an opportunity like Marcus, you take advantage of it, and you really understand, I got a break, and now I'm going to take a shot. And I think that's going to happen with Marcus Williams up in Connecticut. I think he's going to really, really take advantage of the opportunity he has.
78-64, Reddick.
Terrific. Absolutely terrific.
They gave him a
Enjoy
wide
it.
open drive, so he took it.
People down there at Durham better enjoy watching this kid because he is a rarity.
Yeah, they are seeing something that they're not going to see again for a long, long time.
And we're not going to see it.
No.
I know I've absolutely enjoyed the 4 years watching him perform. Just like I certainly enjoy watching Adam Morrison up at Gonzaga. Wish I could see him more often. Mom and Dad.
And it's their last chance. All the people that grew up around him, not far from here, their last chance to see him play here at Virginia Tech.
He'll play a lot of years at that next level. Magic Johnson was in awe when we saw him at the game at Maryland.
Just moved past Jeff Lamp, only 3 points away from Mike Jaminski, and then Christian Leitner, about 137 points after that. And barring some kind of an injury, J.J. Redick is going to end up not only as the most prolific three-point shooter in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference in college basketball, he's going to end up as the ACC's #1 all-time scorer.
He's going to surpass Curtis Staples at Virginia.
Curtis Staples, who had, boy, was he pure. What a great stroke Curtis had.
Tell you, Virginia coming on, Dave Lato doing a nice job. Singletary's been sensational. That's Duke's next opponent.
Dick, he's got a couple of young kids that are going to be good players for him. Hoops action from the pro ranks comes your way Friday on ESPN. First up, LeBron is back. His Cavs visit the Indiana Pacers. Stojakovic may be in the lineup following his trade for Ron Artest to Sacramento. Then it's Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets against former Dookie Elton Brand and the Clippers. It's a big night, NBA Friday on ESPN. You made it clear at the beginning of the telecast that this was a bounce-back game for Duke. You had no doubt they were going to. I don't think anybody who has ever seen a Mike Krzyzewski coach team anticipated anything but exactly what happened tonight.
All you had to do was see Mike before the game. Talk to him in the locker room. You could see the focus. You could see the fact that his kids came out here with purpose. With purpose. They knew they were going to get a great hit again from Virginia Tech, but they responded right out of the gate, got the big lead, and they executed so well. They were so efficient offensively with their execution.
People overlooked Georgetown. We were guilty of it, too. They thought this stretch at Boston College, then Florida State, and at North Carolina, and at Maryland were going to be the ones where Duke would be most vulnerable. They still may be, but they've got that one loss on their record.
That game up at Boston College will be interesting, I'll tell you that. They've been coming on. They were 0-3 in conference play.
I'm looking forward to seeing them in person.
Al Skinner really got them regrouped.
Dowdell took it away from Paulus. Too little, too late.
You're going to love Craig Smith. I'm sure up there, man, in Boston, that place is going to rock like you can't believe. The Dukies come into Boston College, Chestnut Hill. Well, they meet the challenge tonight and get another W and bounce back after the loss to Georgetown.
J.J. Redick with another brilliant game, 24 points, still 3 below his conference leading average. The final score, Duke 80, Virginia Tech 67 here in Blacksburg. Post-game coverage coming up over on ESPN News, and the ultimate Super Bowl 40-man roster coming up next here on ESPN. For Dick Vitale, Doris Burke, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Again, good night from Blacksburg, Virginia.